SEC Sports Group.
That's all right. You know those guys.
Oh, these are good. Oh.
It has been an eventful weekend here at the ballpark. Earlier today, the Steven Starr Gary Maddox Barbecue Challenge, which took place out on Citizens Bank Way. Some great ribs. Well, we think there were some ribs left after Sarge went down there. Some chicken. There were contests all over the place. And for the fans, free of charge until they got into the barbecues themselves. An outstanding way to get their day started. So outside the ballpark, they then venture inside the ballpark. And it is alumni weekend here at the Yard, and a number of Phil's alums, including Freddie Schmidt, who you just saw come in at 96 years old, were honored today, along with Darren Dalton. 45 in all were out on the field prior to the start of tonight's ballgame. There's Kevin Stocker. Pat Burrell got a rousing round of applause, and one of the loudest round of applause, of course, was from Mike Schmidt. And then after all the alums went back to their spots, there's Tim McCarver throwing to Steve Carlton. A little bit of a switch. And then Brent Musburger, the umpire, calling the first pitch. Game 2 coming up between the Phils and the Cardinals. Well, the game, of course, is not secondary, but it is alumni weekend, and it's great to see all the alums out here at the ballpark. They've been here the last couple of days, and we'll talk to some as the night moves on. But let's talk about last night's game, Wheels. Hopefully the Phillies can feed off what they saw last night from Doc Halladay.
Well, Roy Halladay set the tone for last night, Tom. He gave them a chance to win. The game is tied late in the ball game. The Phillies made some plays behind him. He pitched just a tremendous ball game because he had to, because Kyle Loesch was so good. Here's the one run they got. The ball goes off the glove, second base there, off Dominic Brown, and they wind up scoring. Here's one of those plays we were talking about. Kevin Franson at third base, a tremendous play. The eighth inning's when they win the game. Jimmy Rollins gets a base hit to left field, and then a balk right there will move him to second base. Young pitcher Barrett Browning, first time the Phillies had seen him. Juan Pierre, who can bunt better than Juan Pierre, gets him over to third. Now Chase Utley just trying to hit a fly ball here. He hits more than a fly ball. He hits one about 420 feet off a hanging slider into the Phillies bullpen, and that gave the Phillies the lead. Now they were coming back with the Cardinals, and then Beltran decides he's going to try and steal second base, step to third, step off, throw it back to second. Jimmy made a nice play on that on the short hop, and the game ended right there. Phillies have been playing very good baseball at home. You see, in the last 11 games, they are 8-3, and they have won in their last at bat 6 of those victories, including last night's ball game. So they're playing the way at home that we thought they'd play all year. It's a little bit late for them right now doing this, but it sure is fun to watch.
Yeah, the bullpen numbers have been very good. You saw the earned run average for the bullpen during this stretch under 3. And again, the Phils hope it continues tonight in game number 2. They also hope that Cliff Lee will get his first victory here at Citizens Bank Park this year, making his 20th start overall. He'll be opposed by Jake Westbrook. All right, so the excitement has been around the ballpark all day long. The alums are here. They're in the house enjoying themselves. We'll get to the lineups of the first pitch when we return to Citizens Bank Park. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Every new Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. By Citizens Bank, we're for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phils. And by Independence Blue Cross. We're creating a more coordinated healthcare system that is built around you. Independence Blue Cross, changing the game. Phils of the St. Louis Cardinals. Folks are settling in. Overcast here tonight as Cliff Lee is warming up out of the mound for the Phillies. Let's take a look at the Cardinals starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in center field, John Jay. Alan Craig bats second, followed by Matt Holliday and Carlos Beltran. David Freese, the third baseman, hits fifth. Yadier Molina, sixth. And the bottom third of Rafael Furcal, Ryan Jackson, and Jake Westbrook. And they'll face Phillies left-hander Cliff Lee, who strangely has not won a game in this ballpark all year. He hasn't won a game in this ballpark since September of last season.
And there are the numbers on Cliff Lee. Of course, he doesn't walk many batters. He will strike hitters out. He has thrown a lot of home run balls this year. In fact, as many as he had all last year. One of the reasons he is a 71% first strike pitch strikes. And that's first in the major leagues. So hitters are very aggressive against Cliff Lee.
Said after his last start that he has to start keeping the ball down in the zone at a better rate because he's given up a lot of home runs here at Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, last couple starts he's really had trouble with the long ball in this ballpark. Here are our Nissan keys to tonight's game, and make Westbrook bring the ball up. This guy is the all-time sinker baller, and Tom just mentioned that. We put that down as a key to the game. Cliff Lee needs a win here because his last win was 10 starts ago in this ballpark.
John Jay leads it off for the first pitch to Jay is in there for a strike, so we're underway. According to Doug Headings, Jay last night was 1 for 4. Overall, he's hitting .307. He's hit in 5 consecutive ball games, 11 hits during that time. To left field, Lance Nix getting a start there tonight, and he tracks it down for the first out. One away, and Alan Craig is coming to the plate. So a good start for Cliff Lee to get that first out on just a couple pitches. Lee faced the Cardinals earlier this year on the 25th of May. Won 7 innings, allowed 3 runs, struck out 7. Did not receive a decision. In 9 of his games this year, the Phillies have scored 3 runs or less.
Yeah, it's just been a potpourri of things. People ask you all the time, why hasn't Cliff Lee won games? We've laid out a lot of them already. It's just, there's not one thing, 2 things really you could point at. It's just been a strange season for him.
Alan Craig was also 1 for 4 in last night's ball game for the Cardinals. Phillies won the game 3-1. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. During this winless stretch for Lee here at Citizens Bank Park, he's 0-5 with an earned run average of 3.91. This after last season going 11-3 with an ERA of 1.94. Up until this year, he's always been really good in this ballpark. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Off to the right and out of play into the upper deck. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You mentioned the home run ball, Tom. Almost unbelievable. It's 7 in his last 2 starts in this ballpark. Total of 18. And when he gets hurt in the middle of the plate. You know, you talk about keeping the ball down and all. Me with him is balls in the middle of the plate because when he's on, he can get away with stuff in and out. It's just when he throws it down the middle, then they really get him.
That ball's drilled to center field. On the run is Shearholtz, and it's over his head and a 1-hop off the wall. And Alan Craig's going to pull in the second with a stand-up double.
That pitch was right down the middle, but Shearholtz is out there playing center field and trying to find out whether or not he is a viable center fielder at any point. Did not get a great jump on this. See where the pitch is, right in the hitting zone for a guy with power, and he just can't catch up to it. Now, could another center fielder caught it? I don't know. Mayberry could. There's no way really to tell from where we are right now, except you could tell that he did not get a big time center fielder type jump on the ball.
Well, 1 out, runner at second base. Matt Holliday's the hitter. Holliday was 0 for 4 in last night's ball game, and he had a heck of it at bat against Jonathan Papelbon in the 9th inning, but Papelbon got him to fly out to left field. And he takes one at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. 1 hit in 8 career at bats against Cliff Lee.
It was a strange ending to that game last night. The Cardinals were throwing up a heck of a rally.
Yeah, they had runners on first and third with 2 outs. Phillies were up by 2, and then Jonathan Papelbon was able to catch Carlos Beltran going to second. 0-2 the count.
And Beltran was trying to get into position to score out there. He did the old fake the third throw to first and nailed him at second. Jimmy Rollins made some play in a short hop too.
Yeah, I asked Jonathan today about the throw, and he said, you know, the back of that mound dips down quicker than you think. That's what caused him to throw the one hopper to second.
Well, it was good that the hop was down. It was good that he didn't sail it into center field. That could have happened too.
0-2 the count to Holiday. Curveball hit through the hole on the left side. It's a base hit. Nix comes up with it quickly, and Craig holds up at third. So first and third out of the chute for the Cardinals. And the double play is still in order with one out and Beltran due up.
Very good hitting team. The St. Louis Cardinals, and Beltran, one of the all-time first ball fastball hitters, or first ball hitters period, in Major League Baseball. Cliff Lee throws 71% first pitch strikes. Beltran will probably be hacking here unless he's, you know, for one at bat he's going to play a little possum on him.
Well, 28 home runs, 81 runs batted in. He sits atop a number of offensive categories in the National League. Lee looks back to see where the middle infielders are. Beltran second in home runs, tops in RBIs, and he takes outside. It's 1-0.
Yeah, he was ready to go on that, and the pitch was just so far outside that he held up, and they did not throw him a strike on the first pitch.
Beltran is 2 for 15 lifetime against Lee. Just off the outside corner, 2-0. It was a 92-mile-an-hour fastball that looked like it was in a good spot.
Yeah, he wants to throw it there.
Swing and a miss. Went a little farther outside.
He's in pull mode from the right side. See Beltran really open up quickly there. All three pitches have been away. It's almost like they don't want to give him anything in there.
Whereas he looks like he might be expecting a cutter or something like that.
Well, yeah, it looks like he's opening up and trying to pull. That's why he couldn't get to that pitch.
Well, they try to go inside on that one. It was a cutter, and he fouls it off. It's 2-2. See the miles per hour up on the top of the screen. You'll see his fastball at 91, 92, maybe 93, and the cutter, which looks like a fastball, but the miles per hour is probably 3 or 4 miles per hour less.
And the cutter's a pitch he has to be really careful, in my opinion, of Beltran here, because you don't want to leave it on the plate to him, because that's the one he can hammer.
2-2 pitch. Fouls it away. Beltran signed a 2-year free agent contract with the Cardinals during this offseason. And he's been healthy all year. There have been a couple of games where he's had to step out because of sore knees. Knees have always been an issue for him during the course of his career.
That's what looked like he was going to end his career.
On the inside corner and a called strike 3. That was a fastball from Lee. And it's strikeout number 125 on the year. Beltran doesn't think so. That looked like a good pitch. Doug Eddings, the home plate umpire. Lance Barrett's at first. Paul Nartz at second. And Dana Dubuque around at third.
Well, it's a great idea, whether it's a strike or not, to come inside. As much as they stayed away from him, he hit Pratz's glove. Whether it's on the plate or not, Beltran has a great eye. There's still some yapping going on. Once the umpire, when they take their mask off, and then they look towards the dugout, they're serious.
Well, he took it off twice.
That's when the other dugout, that's when the dugout knows, all right, I'm at the end of the leash right now. And if I say something else, I'm probably gone.
Well, still a tough hitter to deal with. And David Freese, his number is way better against lefties than righties. And he takes low, ball 1. Take another look at this pitch to Carlos Beltran and see what you think. Gosh, that looks like a strike. I mean, I know he caught it inside a little bit.
Yeah, he hit across the front of the plate, and it was so close. And Beltran, in my opinion, froze more than anything because he did not expect anything in there after all those pitches away.
No, it's almost as if he was thinking away again.
Sure, because that's where they had established, and that's why it was such a good pitch to get him out on.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Freeze.
Tim McCarver used to learn so much baseball from him over the years. It was neat that he was honored here tonight. And as a catcher, he said it used to be the philosophy as a catcher is how you get there to get the guy out. And that was a perfect example of how they got there. Away, 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 and then in to get him out.
He's pumping a lot of fastballs.
And he's late on them right now. Freeze's powers to center and towards right center. A little bit left center. But he's one of those guys that waits a long time and has tremendous center field power. Now they've established away, away, away to him. You wonder if they would try to zip one inside on him. That's why the long look.
After all those signs, they have their pitch. And it's a fastball upstairs. 2-2 the count.
Change the location that time.
Javier Molina waits on deck. To right field, down the line and out of play. Again, another fastball toward the outer edge. David Freese, we mentioned, was the star of the postseason last year for the Cardinals. He had .397. He drove in 21 runs in the postseason.
A lot of home runs, big hits, and it was a pretty neat story because he's a native of St. Louis too.
Everybody in St. Louis knew him, but after the postseason, everybody in the country knew him. And Cliff Lee establishes outside and then finally comes inside to David Freese to get him looking. He worked out of a tough jam here in the first inning. He allowed 2 hits with 1 out, then gets back-to-back strikeouts. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Wall of Fame. Last night, Mike Lieberthal was inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame. He was also part of the contingent of catchers who were introduced here tonight. Ozzie Virgil, Darren Dalton, Tim McCarver, you name it. They were here tonight. John Kruk was here. So was Darren Dalton. It's been a nice weekend. I know the guys really enjoy it when they get a chance to come back. How about 96-year-old Freddie Schmidt? Well, let's take a look at the Phillies lineup. That's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Rollins, Brown, and Utley, followed by the middle of the order, Ryan Howard, Lance Nix, and Nate Shearholtz. Kevin Franzen, the third baseman, hits 7th. Eric Kratz, 8th. And Cliff Lee is on the mound, and they'll face a 34-year-old right-hander, Jake Westbrook, Lee's former teammate of the Indians, who hasn't really fared that well against the Phillies. He's had a Jake Westbrook kind of year for the Cardinals.
Yeah, Phillies threw a 4-spot on him, batted around in the game in St. Louis. The worst outing he's had all year, the shortest one. But he will go out there and throw sinker, sinker, sinker. Jimmy Rollins right there thinking about hitting a first pitch, and that ball was out of the strike zone. He check swung foul. Here's a scouting report on him. #1 ground ball pitcher in baseball. You have to make him bring the ball up, or you'll just be playing pepper with the infielders all night.
There's a ground ball to second base, and the rookie Ryan Jackson, his first action in the big leagues.
And that is Jake Westbrook right there. That will be his game if you let him pitch his game.
One other stat that stands out is that he has induced 19 double plays, which is tops in the National League. So 1 out. Dominic Brown will be the hitter. Dominic's riding a 7-game hitting streak. 1 for 4, and last night with an RBI off the glove of the second baseman Daniel Descalso. At the knees, 0-1, a sinker. Westbrook was a former 3rd-round selection of the Colorado Rockies in 1996.
Well, he's throwing that sinker right on the knees. Dominic Brown trying to have a good approach to him and not swing at it, hit the top of the ball, but they're called strikes.
0-2 pitch to Brown. Way outside, 1-2.
He'll throw changeup, curveball, slider a little bit, but for the most part he'll just pump sinkers, especially first time through the order.
The game in St. Louis, every sinker he threw was up.
Yeah, they didn't catch the ball. Remember in that first inning.
Right.
The Phillies threw a 4-spot at him, but they hit him hard too.
Down and away, 3-2. He threw a changeup there after 4 sinkers. But Dominic Brown has fought his way back to 3 balls and 2 strikes with Utley on deck. Just underway, no score, bottom of the 1st here in Philadelphia. Dominic Brown is aboard with a 1-out walk.
That's a really good job. He took 6 pitches.
Not surprisingly, our cold hard blast comes from Chase Utley.
Yeah, Chase said he's just trying to hit a ball in the air last night with a runner at third base and Jimmy Rollins, and he hit it in the air all right into the Phillies bullpen. A long home run, and that proved to be the game winner.
Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Chase 8 home runs, 18 runs batted in. 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. Folks with their standing room only tickets, that's a good spot. Charlie and I were out there the other day doing his television show. You can see everything out there. Just ask Bernie, our cameraman.
Yeah, Bernie has a great shot.
Back toward the middle, under the glove of the second baseman Jackson. On his way to third is Dominic Brown. It'll be first and third for the Phils with 1 out. It'll be interesting to see how they score that one.
Well, it's the first major league game for Jackson, who's a shortstop. They say he's a really good shortstop too. They have him playing second base tonight. They say he swing the bat, but this play he has to make. He goes to like one knee almost. Yeah, he starts to try to play that backhand on the hop and just misjudges everything about the speed, the hop, direction of it. That should be an error. And you see Jake Westbrook knowing he just threw his 20th ground ball. Double play of the year.
First and third with 1 out. And Ryan Howard is the batter. Howard last night did have a hit. It was a big one early on. It was a double. They do score that an error, by the way, to Ryan Jackson. He had 12 in the minor leagues, and he has 1 here in his major league debut.
Sorry, Tom. He played 12 games, we were told, in the minor leagues at second base. So he's a shortstop trying to play second.
Saw the Lucky McDonald's home run jackpot contestant Irene Shovlin of Philadelphia. Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game. Irene will win $100.
Now, with the runners the way they are, the Cardinals have to play the infield fairly normal right now against Ryan Howard. They can't go into that big overshift. So there's a lot of room for him to hit those line drives over infielders' heads, and their hits instead of outs.
2-0 the count, and the pickoff throw over to first chases Utley back. Ryan's hit in 3 straight games. His average is at .215. He struck out 3 times last night. That's been a big issue, obviously, for him in his career. But since he's come off the DL, he has struck out a lot. Just trying to make some good contact here. Ground ball softly hit. Jackson will get another chance. There's one. What a slide by Utley. Safe at first, and a run scores. Wow. That was all Chase Utley with a big-time slide at second base. to knock Raphael Furcal off balance for just a second or two. And they credit Ryan Howard for hustling up the first base line.
Yeah, and you got a double play combination. They're not used to each other. He needs to feed this to get him away from the bag. See what he did? And maybe we take another look at it, but he feeds him too close. Right there. He feeds him way too close to the bag instead of leading him across the bag with something hard. So he gives Chase a shot to blow the play up. And that's exactly what he did. Good hard play by Chase Utley, but if you give him a different type of feed, the way guys that work together know, he's cleared the bag long before Utley can get there.
I give Furcal some credit too, because he made that an awfully close play at first.
Well, when you figure he went up in the air, came down on his feet, and then threw a seed to first. But great job by Chase.
Lance Nix getting the start tonight in left field. Good numbers against Jake Westbrook. Charlie said today Lance is more of a low ball hitter, so Westbrook being a sinker baller, figured he'd roll the dice. He said, I got to get him some at bats.
Yeah, this is the kind of pitcher that a left-handed hitter likes to hit off, is a sinker ball pitcher, because almost all of them are low ball hitters.
0-2 the count. Fly ball center field. John Jay didn't see it right away. Now he's under it, and he makes the catch. So the Phillies score a run without a base hit. Turns out to be an unearned run. We've completed one, on to the second. Phillies lead it 1-0. At 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text AtBat to 31826 or visit Phillies.com for details. Well, Chase Utley hit the home run last night to give the Phils the lead and eventually the victory. Tonight, it was the way he plays the game that's helped give the Phillies the lead. We go to the top of the second.
Yeah, he's an infielder. He understands what's going on down there around the bag, and he lined up Furcal perfectly. And when Furcal got the throw real close to the bag like that, he had a shot at it.
They've actually changed Utley's ball to a base hit. So that means that run is earned instead of unearned.
Well, it's good. Got a hit on that.
Yadier Molina takes outside. It's 2-0. Yadier Molina is a .312 hitter, 16 home runs, 54 runs batted in.
When he can score that hit, he didn't touch it.
To the gap in right center field. That'll go all the way to the wall. In fact, it hits off Oakland on the American League scoreboard. Molina getting the second standing with a leadoff double, the second extra base hit of the day for the Cardinals.
Is amazing what he's turned into. When Yadier Molina came up, he was an out. You could see he could catch and throw. could not swing the bat. And now he is really dangerous. He hits it all over the place. Remember, he hit a grand slam off Roy Halladay in that spot in St. Louis, the right center field. And there he just hits a BB, as Tom said, off the Oakland sign out there on the scoreboard.
Rafael Furcal has jumped up to the 7-hole tonight with Ryan Jackson, the rookie, in the 8-hole. Franzen's in on the grass at third. Howard's even with the bag just in case he tries to bunt.
Yeah, Furcal think about trying to get him over right now because the Phillies will play the infield back in the second inning. And even though you have a rookie coming up, you know, you don't want to get involved with a potential big inning started by the bottom of the order.
0-1 the count. And 1 ball and 1 strike.
So you don't do a lot of fancy stuff right now. You don't. Your pitcher, you don't want him out there nibbling around, because the next thing you know, then you turn the order over, and then you really got a problem.
A liner to left field. Nix is right there. He catches it in the palm of his hand. Ball really had some sink on it.
Scalded by Furcal. Just really fooled Lance Nix. It's amazing that he catches this right in the heel. Hit the heel of the glove and then goes into the pocket.
It's kind of like Matt Holliday's ball last night in the 9th inning.
Yeah, I mean, that thing may have been hit about 2 or 3 times harder. That was a screamer.
Ryan Jackson was called up yesterday. Tyler Green was claimed by the Houston Astros off waivers. And the Cardinals worked out a deal that sent Green to Houston. So they brought up Jackson, who was hitting .269 in the minor leagues. He's a 24-year-old out of the University of Miami. And he takes inside. It's 1-0.
He's from South Florida and stayed home and played college baseball down there. Was a teammate of John Jay, who's his teammate here in the major leagues.
10 home runs in the minors, 45 runs batted in. Last year in Double-A, he had 34 doubles.
Yeah, they say they like his bat, and he's a good shortstop. So they're giving him a look. They have really produced some fine minor league players the last couple of years.
1 ball, 1 strike the count. Yadier Molina takes his lead off second. Inside, 2-1. There was an article in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. You know, the Cardinals started out well and were leading the division. They haven't played as well since the middle of June or so. But the article was talked about poor Tyler Green, how he became kind of a scapegoat for the Cardinals' failures over the last several weeks.
Heard a lot of guys in baseball say that, you know, they're told at the beginning of the year, hey, just hit 8th, catch the ball, doesn't matter. They hit 8th, they catch the ball, and they hit like 150 or 180, ball. It's their fault, and they're gone.
Well, they compared him to Daniel Descalso, who, you know, has become a fan favorite in St. Louis. I think partly because of his defense, but Tyler Green is a pretty good defensive player too. Their numbers are very similar. The fans loved Descalso, and they weren't loving Tyler Green as much.
Yeah, it's hard not to be loved in St. Louis.
2-2 the count to Jackson.
Wow.
That may have even been a better pitch than the one he threw to Beltran.
Yeah, sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't.
Boy, he hit the glove, maybe a little inside. But that was a good looking pitch.
I can't believe there's a whole lot of difference there. Kratz and Eddings are talking, you know, a whole lot of difference there between the one he threw there and the one he threw to Beltran.
Cardinals are probably thinking, all right, we got him. He's in our head. We're in his head.
Yeah.
Fouls it away, and it remains 3-2. During the 2012 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Nice to get Jackson here with Westbrook on deck. Eric Kratz and Cliff Lee don't seem like they're in the same kind of flow that Halladay and Kratz were in last night.
No.
The pace of the game last night was really good between Kratz and Halladay. And Eric even said that a week or so ago when he was catching Doc for the first time. He said, you know, getting him in a good rhythm, understanding his rhythm is important. And it's really the same for Cliff Lee.
Yeah, and a lot of what's going on down there right now can be location. Because Lee relies so much on location, not only the pitch, but where they want to throw it.
Again, it's 3 balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball down the right field line. Dominic Brown is over. He has room. Fair ball. He makes the catch. Molina's trying to go to third. The throw off the glove of Jimmy Rollins. And Molina does get to third, but there are 2 outs, and the pitcher is coming up.
Who's 6 for 39 with 17 strikeouts.
Mentioned these 2 guys were teammates with Cleveland. Westbrook does have a home run in his career. He also has 5 doubles.
See what Lee's doing right now. It's good to see too. He's taking his time. He just took a little walk back there, getting himself composed. Because sometimes you have a tendency you rush it, and you throw a cookie to the pitcher after you think you're out of the jam, and the next thing you know, there's a base hit and a run.
Swing and a miss. He was late on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 0-1. Molina short lead off third. 0-2 the count. Opposing pitcher, they do have a home run against him. And 2 RBIs. 8 for 94 though.
Well, we don't have to throw him a strike here.
Kratz sets up inside, and a swing and a miss, and Lee leaves another one in scoring position. 3rd strikeout of the night for Cliff Lee. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left over at third. On to the bottom of the 2nd. It's the Phillies 1 and the Cardinals nothing. Of Ryan Howard as we head to the bottom of the 2nd. Prior to the ball game, we saw Tim McCarver throw out the first pitch to Steve Carlton. It used to be reversed, and then Brett Musburger was behind the plate. There are probably some fans thinking, well, why was Brett Musburger behind the plate calling balls and strikes? Well, we're going to ask him because he's been nice enough to join us up here in the booth. I never knew that you were an umpire.
You know, I was offered a 1-year sabbatical by Northwestern. So I went to umpiring school down in Florida and signed a contract with the Midwest League. Middle of the summer, here comes this big article that this kid from Memphis, who Notre Dame wanted as a running back by the name of Tim McCarver, had signed with the Cardinals. And so I had the plate the night he broke in.
That's amazing.
It was amazing.
That is. Do you ever think about that year of being an umpire, what it was like?
You know what? I've never admitted, but I will to you two, since you're my friends. I led the league in ejections that year.
You always did have a terrible temper.
I didn't take any guff. You know, Tim, he tried to get on me right away. But, like, as you watch right now, the catcher and the umpire, they could be talking, and the crowd would never know it because you see the catcher's looking at the pitcher when he throws it back. Well, Tim, being just out of high school, he would jump up out of the crouch, and he'd look right at me. So we had about 250 fans in the stands, and they were all over my behind. And I had to say, young man, you can talk to me all night, but please look at the pitcher out there. And he learned that lesson the first time. Yeah. But as you know, Chris, because you're such great friends with Tim, he was verbal even then. That night, he could talk. I'm telling you, it was a great conversation.
I find it hard to believe, Brent, that he would argue.
Well, through the raindrops, Nate Shearhalt's skies one to center, and John Jay tracks it down. All of a sudden, the rain has started to fall pretty hard as this inning gets underway.
Hey, you had a great career. You know, I was lucky enough to meet you back in 1968 when I was a kid working at WBBM. I'd gone out there. You had been a heck of a newspaper guy, and then you decided to go into broadcast at the news radio station there. What made you do that?
Oh, they paid me more money.
Yeah, of course.
I had a mortgage. I had a wife. You know what I'm saying? I had to take care of the family, Chris.
Right.
And they were just starting, well, Tom, they were just starting the all-news format.
Yep.
So as Chris knows, they wanted to have sports news, not just cover play-by-play. Right. So we used to do in the quarter hour, three-quarters, we would do 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, and that's how it started.
Kevin Franzen hits one to deep left center field, and it's off the top of the wall. Jay plays it well. That is usually a triple if it hits off the top of that wall there. And Franzen pulls into second with a one-out double, his first double of the year for the Phils. It's amazing how you can take different paths to get to where you wind up in your life.
You know, youngsters, I'm sure they ask both of you, how do I get into your business? How do I do it? There is no formula, you know, because everybody has taken a different path. You have no idea. Chris was working at the station when I was there doing the sports, and I learned quickly that he loved sports. He would go to any game with me. I'd say, come on, Chris, let's go. Let's go watch the Hawks. Let's go watch the White Sox. He'd come along.
Over to third, behind the bag, Freeze. His throw is low. Alan Craig makes the play.
I'll never forget that. I mean, how nice you were. I was 23 years old in a new city. There's your background right there in a new city, and you would invite me to go to games with you. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. Brent Musburger wants me to go to games with us. That was a thrill, and I'll never forget that, how much I appreciated it.
Tom, I got to tell you something. Chris's ears should be burning because a lot of players who were here tonight have told me what a good analyst he is. And he said, you know, that's really interesting because he didn't play baseball, you know, extensively, never was in the major leagues. But he said the one thing about Chris was he would listen to us, he'd ask the questions, and that's a tribute to you, my friend.
Well, thanks. Yeah, well, I've always thought that you can learn something every day in this business if you want to, and you still can.
Absolutely.
And a lot of those guys that you were down there with from the 80s, you know, from the 80 World Championship team, those are the guys that Wheels kind of grew up with in this organization. Well, Franzen's on second. Cliff Lee is the hitter. We looked at the things that you've done, Brent, and obviously, you know, for me growing up, the NFL was where I was first introduced to you. But now it's, you know, college football. Before it was college basketball and college football. Is there a favorite thing that you've done or get a chance to do each year?
You know, interestingly enough, my heart belongs to this particular game.
Wow.
I mean, I grew up a baseball fan, so I love being out in Montana. You know, early in the evening, you come on out there about 5 o'clock. Maybe I'm watching the Phillies or maybe I'm watching the Yankees. I can watch anybody out there. It is a game that I don't think I will ever lose my affection for. I just think around these guys.
There's a fly ball to center, and that should do it for the inning. And Jay makes the catch. But go ahead, Brent, finish that.
Well, I was going to say that talking to the guys from the 80s who were here, one of the best things that I've done, listen to the anecdotes of those guys. Larry Boa, who can push anybody's button. getting
Easily.
everybody stirred up in the club. You know, as players get older, their anecdotes get better. And I love listening to them.
They get to be a lot better players as they get older, too.
Yes,
Yeah. Don't we all?
Well, Brett,
Indeed.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
great
you for
talking
having
to
me, you guys.
Oh,
Okay?
it's our pleasure.
Chris, my friend.
Brett
Thanks, Brett.
Musburger,
Appreciate
guest
it.
up here in the booth. We go to the top of the third. Phillies hanging on to a 1-0 lead. For all the information, please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, here's the question. Name the player the Phillies selected with the 11th overall pick in the 1968 MLB draft. The answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. Wheels, it was not me. I was born in 1968.
Ha, ha, ha. That's the year we were just talking to Brent about that worked with him in Chicago. It was 1968.
Cliff Lee has a 1-0 lead as we start the third. He'll face the top of the order. It's still raining, but lightly. It's an odd shower, little blip, hopefully. Grounds crew has still hovered down past the camera well. Wheels, it is their first Phillies game, and their one request was to be put on television. And there you go.
Oh, isn't that nice? Well, they made it.
That's the only gift they will get for the night. Well, maybe they'll get something else. John Jay grounded out his first time up. And the first pitch is up high, 1-0.
This is an interesting game, to say the least. So the Phillies could somehow be leading this game. All the things that have gone on. How about that for your glasses, huh? That's a new way to do something. Huh?
I'm not sure if anybody's going to patent that. Rain starts to fall again, a little harder.
That was a really heavy shower, and well, there's not a whole lot of wind to make those as exciting as they can be.
Still could be exciting though, Wheels.
Yeah.
He's making it exciting. Almost there. Almost there. There it is. Got to stay calm with that situation. Another foul ball. 1-2 the count. Gets off the front of Andy Rabel's camera down there in the third base dugout. Lee has allowed 3 hits so far. 2 of those hits extra base hits. Franzen makes a nice play. Can he make the throw? Yes, he does. In time to get John Jay. Well, he's made some really good plays over at third base since he's taken over for Placido Polanco.
Yeah, they feel his best position second. He's not going to play second on this team unless Utley gets a night off or a day off. There's Placido Polanco. They hope they can get back. But this is a good play because Jay can run a little bit too, and he got out of the box from that left side. He had to do everything perfectly, and nothing was easy about that, including the wet field and wet baseball.
Speaking of Polanco, I talked to him today. He said the ground balls went well yesterday. He's going to accompany the team on the trip to Florida. Will hopefully start to swing the bat. And then Charlie said today that he's going to have to go out on a rehab assignment before he comes back, as that ball is hit foul down the right field line.
Dominic Brown had no idea where it was.
Ball was really carrying it, too.
He was looking up into the rain and the twilight right now, and where is it? Well, they would love to get Polanco back. He'd be another major league player to have on their club. He's a proven player and can help out the rest of the way. Branson's also shown that, you know, he can help you a little bit. Not a young guy.
0-2 the count. Wheels were losing downtown.
Yeah, this is a pretty heavy shower. But they must think they can play through it, or it's not going to last long, or they would have called time by now.
Swing and a miss at the first curve of the night in the strike zone for Lee. That's his 4th strikeout. Man, if he can get that pitch going, it was such a huge asset in last night's game for Roy Halladay.
Yeah, as Tom says, a breaking ball here, a curveball. Halladay had a tremendous curveball and really fooled a lot of these fastball hitters that they have. And that was an off the table 12-6er.
Halladay takes inside 1-0. Halladay singled his first time up. He had been 0 for 12 before that at bat. Broke his back. Shallow right field. Utley is out there. He's calling everybody off. He sees it. And a 1-2-3 third inning for Cliff Lee. 6 in a row retired by the Phils lefty. On to the bottom of the 3rd here at Philadelphia. The Phils with a very small lead. Today by Thomas Jefferson University Hospital. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW for an appointment. And by Nissan Summer Saving Days. The event ends September 4th. Visit ChooseNissan.com. Grounds crew was just working on the field. They were working on home plate and also the pitcher's mound. There's some puddles over near third base. Very light right now as the rain is still light but falling as we go to the bottom of the 3rd. Westbrook is testing out his footing. He looks like he's okay. He'll face the top of the order. Rollins, Dominic Brown, and Chase Utley. Phillies scored their run in the 1st on a ground ball by Ryan Howard. Folks don't know whether to stay out or go underneath the cover.
We were told that if it did rain here tonight, there could be a couple of quick bursts and it wouldn't last a long time. And so far, there have been 2 pretty heavy showers.
Prior to the ballgame tonight, all the ceremonies that took place, there's Carlos Arroyo, longtime coach for the Phillies, and he was presented with the John Vukovich Award. There's Vince Vukovich, John's son presenting him with the award.
Talk about a guy who could teach you the game.
Oh yeah,
John Vukovich. And he saying, I'm going to tell you some things you may not want to hear. Just listen. And everybody would just listen.
His name has come up an awful lot this weekend with all the former players who have come back.
A lot of respect.
1 ball, 1 strike the count to Rollins. And it's 2-1. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. Atlanta is just beating up the Mets 9-0 in the bottom of the second. Johan Santana lasted just an inning and a third.
Mets are having a lot of fun at home, aren't they?
Just can't win at home.
Wow. They finally won the final game of the series the other day and then have lost tonight. I mean last night, and they're on their way to losing again tonight.
Phillies are on their heels. The Mets are 16 games back in 3rd place. Phillies are 18.5 back in 4th place. Rollins is aboard with the 2nd walk of the night for Westbrook.
That's the way to beat Westbrook, is to try and make him stay out of the zone a little bit or get a pitch up. What he does very well is, even if he has a base runner, though, he can throw a double play and shorten the inning.
Well, they're the folks we were talking about. They're going to wait for it to be a little drier before they come back to their seats. We can see Center City a little bit more, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, it started to let up. A lot of people are coming back down now.
Throw over to first, and Rollins is back ahead of the tag.
Dominic walked. He was 0-2 in the first inning. Had a good at bat. Got the 3-2 and walked. Saw 6 pitches. Didn't swing the bat.
Swings the bat there and hits a ground ball to second. Jackson for call for 1. And it's a 4-6-3 double play.
That's what he does. All of a sudden, you have a walk. You think, we got an inning started. Next thing you know, 2 guys are dragging it back to the dugout.
The 20th double play of the year rolled behind Jake Westbrook.
See the difference in the turn that Furcal could make there too. Watch what Jackson does here. The kind of toss he gives him. He gives him a chance to clear the bag a lot better because he puts something on it. Throws it hard, clears the bag, and get out of the way of the runner. Last time he gave him a little bit of a bar of soap right near the bag. There's no way Furcal could clear the bag in time.
Utley takes low. Chase reached on a single his first time up.
A lot of that comes when you play together too. You have an idea where your guy wants the ball on double plays, and you try to get it to him there.
Well, Furcal was doing a lot of talking with Jackson, not only after the ball that Utley hit, but also the one that was hit by Howard. Sort of teaching on the fly.
Well, he's a shortstop too, Jackson. He knows as a shortstop you never want the ball right on top of the bag like that if you can avoid it. You want to catch it there, but you want to be flashing across so you can see the base runner and get out of the way no matter what he's doing to you. And if you can get far enough away, he may come out and interfere with you too.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Chase. Chase is retired on a changeup. First strikeout of the night for Westbrook. Phillies go down quietly here in the 3rd. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We played 3 here in Philadelphia. It's the Phils 1 and the Cardinals nothing. You want at prices you'll love, like quality office chairs from Hahn. Delivered and assembled by who? But W.B. Mason. Top of the fourth inning, 1-0 Phillies on top. Cliff Lee will face Carlos Beltran, David Freese, and Yadier Molina. Sarge, you've had yourself a busy day today.
Woo, boy, I got to tell you. And it was fun, though, too. And this is really a great day. Anytime I can see a lot of the guys that not only did I play for, but guys even before me, which I'm glad some of those guys are here. Just a good time.
Plus, you also got a chance, as we saw before, to be at the Steven Starr Gary Maddox Barbecue Challenge. We understand that you pacified everybody. You said every rib that you had was good.
Everyone is good. And just take a look at those nails, guys. Okay?
Nobody was looking at the nails, Sarge. They were looking at the rib.
And I got to tell you, they were good. Actually, and when you're judging, too, I mean, you really got to be fair to everyone. And that was actually last year's winner, believe it or not.
Oh, okay. So you're testing them beforehand.
Well, I tested that one right there beforehand.
Beltran takes a strike. Just your face and the excitement in your face when we just saw you after you finished that one bite.
I tell you, it was so tender, and the sauce on them was just delightful.
Well, really of course, the Steven Starr Gary Maddox Barbecue Challenge, the 11th year. And Gary does such a great job. It's presented by Hatfield Quality Meats and Kraft Barbecue Sauce. All proceeds from the challenge support youth golf and academics program, which I know Gary's done some great work with Steven Starr.
Yeah.
There's a changeup from Lee, 5th strikeout. And one away. It'll bring David Freese to the plate. It was crowded out there, obviously.
Oh, yeah. I had made a suggestion maybe next year they can have it where, when you have that the water, not the water, but you get the spray as you're walking by. I think it would be a little bit cooler for people, and they probably would buy even more ribs there when you're feeling good like that. There's all the people that are in there, and I did have to remind some of the people, Larry Anderson, that it was a contest and not dinner. I mean, you're eating just a little, and you're going to have more. You can't eat like you're never going to eat again.
So take a couple of bites and then put it away. Now, there were different categories.
Yeah.
There was a chicken category, there was a rib category, and then there was kind of an open category, which I'm usually part of, which I think is, is outstanding. Some of the recipes that folks put together. That looked like some shrimp right there.
Yeah. Matter of fact, they were asking where you were this year, and I said you had other duties.
1 strike to count to Freese, who struck out looking his first time up. A little low, 2-1. Freese 0 for his last 13. And this streak began after he had a 12-game hitting streak under his belt. That was a changeup from Cliff Lee.
This guy here is a pretty good hitter. Solid at the plate. Kind of knows exactly what he's doing, what he's trying to do. Most of the time, pretty short and quick to the ball.
He's just trying to stay alive there. And it's 2-2. Looks like it's clearing up a little bit. Hopefully. Oh, and he established the inside corner early on, and now he hasn't given Cliff the inside part of the plate.
Well, we talked about it before. All you want is the umpires to be consistent.
That ball's hit down the right field line, slicing from Dominic Brown. I think he's got a play on it, and he does. Well, he went to the spot and then reached back for the second out.
He's going to learn, though, in this particular field, when the ball is hit the right field, that ball is going to come right back over to the line there, and he did have to reach back, making a good play.
Well, with 2 outs, Yadier Molina's coming up. It's that time again for our Major League Notebook. Take it away, Murph.
All right, thank you very much, C-Mac. Brought to you, of course, by Gwinnett Mercy College. And Derek Jeter doubled in the 6th inning of today's game against the Blue Jays. And with that, becomes just the 2nd player in Major League history to have 150 hits or more in 17 consecutive seasons. The other player to do that, how about Hank Aaron? So he certainly is in good company. And the Yankee starter, CC Sabathia, back on the disabled list, 15-day disabled list. He now has a strained elbow. He just came off the disabled list with a strained groin. Guys?
Are you in position to catch a foul ball if it comes up there?
I am so ready to catch one right now.
Oh, boy.
Where are you sitting?
This is prime. I'm in the Hall of Fame club. Section, what, 225.
Oh,
I don't have my glove.
And
so
you're right-handed.
I'm gonna have to wrestle him.
Oh, it would be great if you were over on the first base side right now because that ball just went over there. So you're at 125?
225.
225.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah, I
seats.
see you.
Yeah. Hi, T-Mac.
There you go. Yeah, those are good seats. You could get a foul ball there.
I'm going to hang out here for a little bit.
Be great if right on cue, Sergeant, the ball went up there.
I'd love to see a ball go up there, see what kind of hands he has.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Molina. And a foul ball. It remains 1-2. Yankees actually purchased the contract of Derek Lowe.
Yeah, that's probably more so for experience as opposed to him doing a great job and they're going out getting a pitcher. They know if he can find it, he could, and that's that sinker. Might be a little bit of value.
Remains 1-2. I think Murph picked the wrong side with a right-hander up right now because those are a couple of balls that were awfully close to where he would be on the other side. This might be what Murph would have done if given the opportunity. What do you think, Murph?
Absolutely. That was a good catch by that guy.
It was a good catch.
He's not holding a microphone.
That is true. His backside is going to hurt, though, as he tomorrow. Over to first, Ryan Howard will take care of Yadier Molina. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Cliff Lee. He's retired 9 in a row. We've played 3.5 here in Philadelphia. The Phils, who won last night by 2, lead it by 1 as the offense goes back to work. New Toyota purchase comes with Toyota Care. By AT&T, rethink possible. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Folks wandering around the concourse area. That's out near Harry the Case. There's HK, a beautiful statue. Folks get a chance to see every single day here at the ballpark. And there's usually a lot of traffic out there, particularly before the ball game. Cliff Lee taking a look at his cuticles. And as we go to the bottom of the 4th, he's retired 9 in a row, and now Ryan Howard, Lance Nix, Nate Schierholtz against Jake Westbrook. Ryan has an RBI tonight. Swing and a miss. Looked like a better swing, though.
Yeah, that's a slower pitch. We'll judge him, too, though. The more fastball he's able to catch up with, the better. But one of the things, though, you got to make them get it up. And the way you do that, I mean, if you can't be in the same spot, you got to move toward them. Therefore, that pitch will be a little bit higher for you. Sinker ball pitcher, you want them to make them get that ball up like that one. Not usually those guys, they're not throwing hard enough to strike you out.
1-2 pitch. Tapper back to the box. Reminder, tomorrow is the finale of this 3-game series between the Phillies and the Cardinals. There are some seats still available. Lance Lynn, who's had a very nice year for the Cardinals, 13 wins, will face Vance Worley. And also fans are invited to bring some baseball equipment to the ballpark. Baseball tomorrow, fun of the Phillies baseball and softball equipment collection to benefit Pitch In for baseball. Tickets are available at Phillies.com. Stop by the box office tomorrow. Lance Nix is 0 for 1. Flat out to center to finish up the first. Charlie saying today that he needs to get Lance Nix in the game. He needs to get Juan Pierre in the game. And at some point, probably tomorrow, he needs to get Ty Wigginton into a ball game.
Yeah, Ty hasn't played in a while. And we knew that when Howard got back, that was going to cut into his time.
2-0 pitch to Nix. Ripped on the ground to second. Boy, that ball just ate up Jackson. Look where it went after it went off his hand or glove. That's how hard that ball was hit. Charge an error to Ryan Jackson.
Yeah, that's that top spin on it, and Nix really hitting that ball hard. There's no question about that. Take a look at it. It just eats him up. Jackson here is supposed to be really a pretty good fielder. He's supposed to be a better fielder than a hitter, but that ball there hitting him, and it's an indication of that how hard the ball was hit, getting out into right field. You get that ball up, this ballpark can't hold it.
Just saw his mom and dad, Sally and Leonard. He made a nice play there. He'll get just one. Yeah, there are 2 outs. You know, it's every kid's dream to make it to the major leagues and be a professional ball player. It's every parent's dream to get a chance to watch them play in professional baseball.
Yeah, always hoping for the best, wanting them to get a hit, wanting them to make all the plays. But to be quite frank, just being here in the major leagues is quite an honor for his parents to be here to see him play.
Kevin Franzen doubled in the second. And it's 0-1.
Starting to get noticed a little bit, starting to see the numbers that he has. With the harder you hit the ball, the more you're going to be noticed. All these guys are looking to be noticed just for next year.
And for Franzen, it's probably to be a utility guy for 2013.
And again, though, you never can tell. There are a lot of injuries and so on, but you want to be in a position where that team knows that you can play. Don't have to guess.
Inside, 1-2. Kratz is on deck. Phillies with a runner at scoring position for the second time in the last few innings.
See that helmet start to get a lot of pine tar. They're right up near that P area.
Looks like he's had the helmet in the big leagues longer than he's been in the big leagues.
Yeah, you'll get that from having that regular pine tar there on your bat. Then you're adjusting your helmet. That's how it actually gets up there.
That ball got a piece of the home plate umpire, Doug Eddings. That's why Molina's walking very slowly out to the mound.
Yeah, it's always kind of like a little rule that they actually will do with each other, depending on the one that actually got hit. Just kind of a little courtesy, letting them catch their breath.
So at a Major League scoreboard, Washington has jumped out to a 1-0 lead over Arizona. The Nationals have won 7 straight. Their lead over the Braves is 4.5.
Just can't seem to lose.
Yeah, first team to 70. 70 wins, that is. They're 70 and 43. 1-2 pitch to Franzen. Grounder towards shortstop. And Westbrook, another ground ball out. That's 8 ground outs through 4. We've played 4 innings here in Philadelphia. Cliff Lee going back to work when we return.
Top of the 5th as we continue to enjoy Alumni Weekend here at Citizens Bank Park, and I'm happy to welcome in a Wall of Fame member in 2005 and a world champion in 1980 with your Philadelphia Phillies, Bob Boone. Good to see you, Bob.
Thanks. Always great to come back here.
You know, it's great to see all the guys back, and I would imagine you guys get a chance to spend the weekend together and relive some old memories, and it's got to be a lot of fun.
It's a great time. It's too much drinking, but it's a great time.
Talk a little bit about, you spent so many years here in Philadelphia, 10 seasons in Philadelphia, 19 in Major League Baseball. What do you remember most fondly about playing here in Philly?
The fans here are the most knowledgeable, I think, of everybody around the league. If you didn't play good, they let you know. If you played good, they raved about you. And the big memories I have is when we had the All-Star game here. We had 4 Phillies and maybe 5. When they announced us, they announced on the line all together, and the ovation we got. When I talk about it, I get goosebumps. And the other thing, and I always thought the highlight of my life or career was the World Series. But I realized it really wasn't the World Series. It was the next day. It was the parade, and it was. I still can't even talk about it. I get emotional about it, but it was with my family there, and the outpouring of love was just unbelievable. And that's probably my biggest memory. I got a lot of memories, not all of them good here, but it was great. It was such a great town. The Phillies are the best organization going.
You echo the sentiments of so many of the players that played in 2008 as well. They remember the parade, and they remember the World Championship, and they remember the fans as well. You guys had a great stretch, in the late 70s and the 80s. As looks like Sherholtz has a beat on that one for the first out of the inning. It never changes in Philadelphia. Baseball fans continue to come out and support their team, and that's what makes it such a great city, doesn't it?
The big difference, and I always tell people, I said, Philly fans are born here. They're born. It's in their DNA. they become Philly fans when they're born. And, you know, we had that lull in there in the late 80s, and where it was kind of, you know, I was playing in California, but it was hurtful to me. And now to see what's happened in the city and what Bill Giles and Dave Montgomery have done in putting people back here. And of course, I work for Washington, so we got to try to beat you guys. But and we've had trouble doing that, you know, for quite a while. And you know, to see that, and then the fans come out, and they'll come out for winter, and you know, the most loyal people going, that's for sure.
Sherholtz with another opportunity there. 2 outs in the inning. Before I let you go, you mentioned working for Washington. Tom McCarthy just mentioned the first team in Major League Baseball to 70 wins. As an assistant general manager in charge of player development, you have to be pretty proud about what's happening down there in Washington right now.
Well, I am for sure. I've been there since the inception, since we moved from Montreal. And it's been a lot of hard work in building it, and then particularly, you know, a lot of the kids that are on the club now came through the system. There's a lot of pain in order to get the first pick, which we did for a few years. You got to do a lot of losing. So we had a lot of pain down there, and it's kind of coming to fruition. And we honestly didn't think we were going to be this good this year. So we've been pleasantly surprised, and some guys are really stepping up for us. And the pitching staff, of course, has been great, and the defense has been great. And we've been hitting for the last couple months.
Well, I'll wish you some good luck, but not when you come back and play Philadelphia. Bob, good to see you. Enjoy the rest of the weekend with some old teammates and the alumni as well.
Great to be here. Thank you very much.
Tom McCarthy.
All right, right on cue. Kevin Franzen with a wonderful play, diving to his left. He's made 2 Gold Glove plays in tonight's ball game alone, and that finishes up this 5th inning. So Franzen helping out Cliff Lee, diving headlong to his left. Lee has retired 12 in a row. Reds. That first game is a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night at the ballpark. Wednesday the 22nd is 1990s Retro Night. Plenty of seats still available. Plenty of opportunities to see the Phils as August moves on. Get your tickets at Phillies.com. Reds won again today over the Cubs 4-2, so they've kind of stabilized some things in the Central. They lead the Cardinals by 6.5, the Pirates by 4. Pittsburgh's trailing 3-0 to San Diego. Real tough loss last night for the Pirates. James McDonald had a 5-1 lead, and he couldn't hold it. Don't just watch the game on TV. Get the total game experience with Comcast Sportsnet on TV and online. Get updated stats, scores from around the league, and news from our team of insiders. Check out In-Game Live now at csnphilly.com. Eric Kratz leads it off here in the 5th.
Phillies up 1-0. They scored their run in the first. And Kratz pulls it foul.
Good inning and try and add on if you can. You just don't want to stay around clubs like this. Put some runners on base, cause a little havoc. They do have 3 really pretty good hitters in the middle of that lineup. Very important to try and tack on more runs.
Off the end of the bat to right center field. And John Jay makes the play. Kratz is retired. He's 0 for 2. And here comes Cliff Lee. Phillies have played better here at the ballpark over the last 11 games. Talked about it before. They're 8-3 during that stretch. It'd still be nice to finish up this homestand by winning this series against the Cardinals.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're right about that. Try and keep some momentum if you can.
To the count. Cliff with 8 hits and 40 at-bats this year. He has 1 extra base hit. It was a double. Oh, 2 pitch to him. Way outside. 1-2.
Throwing mostly that little 2-seamer, which is a sinker. And you can see the ground ball outs.
Swing and a miss. The ball gets away from Molina. And Cliff forces him to throw it up the first baseline. Second strikeout. Sarge, we had some pretty good defense tonight by Kevin Franson. It's our Home Depot defensive plays of the game.
Well, that's how you end up getting noticed, by making plays just like that. That's a do or die right there. Coming in and picking that ball, backhanding it, and throwing that ball. And here's another one as he dives right in the hole and right on the money.
Home Depot doing more on defense as Jimmy Rollins takes low and inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
That ball gets to you so quick there at third base. A lot of times don't even have time to think.
Rollins walked his last time up, was erased on a double play. Grounded out to second in the first. Boy, Doug Eddings is just getting whacked around behind the plate. Ball got him again.
Well, those foul tips just don't feel good.
That little guy is ready to go, Sarge.
Looking for a ball, maybe.
Points to his dad. His dad says, turn around, look at the field.
And that is good advice.
Did Rollins go? Nope, says Dana DeButh over at third. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So far, he's been able to pitch on the corners, not leaving a lot of balls out over the plate. Pushing the base runners with Westbrook, and then try and end up still in the bag there or 2.
Rollins hits it right at the second baseman Jackson, who fields it cleanly. And it's a 4-3 on the putout. 1-2-3 here in the bottom of the 5th as we go to the 6th. Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt's going to join us up here in the booth. It's the top of the orders coming up for the Cardinals.
taking advantage of every opportunity given to them. The Phillies catchers this season have been taking a beating. While they're on the disabled list, Eric Kratz stepped up from the Iron Pigs and is delivering in all areas. His bat has been consistent and full of extra base hits. His defense behind the plate has been strong and has kept the Phillies without a void in their battery. The 32-year-old born in Telford, Pennsylvania, is putting on a show. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Changing the game. Well, earlier tonight we had a couple of Schmidts that were out on the field. We had 96-year-old Freddie Schmidt, who played in the 40s for the Philadelphia Phillies. And then we had Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt, who was introduced to the crowd.
86-year-old
I thought it was kind of neat, actually, Schmidt, to, well, not only to see you, but to see 96-year-old Freddie Schmidt.
Yeah, Fred. Uncle Fred. No, I don't know Fred, but I knew he was part of the group every year. Well, interesting.
He was very excited, shaking hands with everybody as they were walking out. I mean, he kept going, throwing his fist out and clapping as everybody came out. So it's good to see you. How you doing?
Thank you, Tom, Gary. Good being with you guys. Good to match your face with the voice every night. You know, I'm up in Rhode Island, listening to you guys, watching you. Yeah.
Well, you don't know the voice and the face by now. What are you talking about?
No, it's good to be with you. I mean, I'm watching. I'm on the set that I watch on TV all the time.
How about when you watch these games here? I mean, who would you think players in the league that you would say, oh, God, this guy plays like I do? Good play.
Just missed getting John Jay.
Who would resemble your type of a game
that's a tough
with the
question,
players? Well, I know it's a little bit of a tough one. And again, when you're looking at a lot of the players these days, as that ball is jammed and he comes in, and take a look at J-Roll doing this like Michael Jack.
Cliff Lee's got to make that
here
play.
It is right now.
Cliff is one of the best athletes I have ever been around as a pitcher. It's
no doubt.
Unlike him to miss that ball.
No doubt about it.
I don't know. On our team, I guess probably the guy that I feel plays the game a little like I did is Chase. He's got great baseball sense. I'm not saying that sound like I'm bragging or anything.
No.
Back then, you know, there was a little bit more baseball sense involved in the game. Think ahead a little bit. Not a little bit, a lot. You know, you kind of expect things before they happen. You're ready for them.
Yeah.
You're thinking about. I actually see Chase as a guy that's probably thinking about the game most of the day. Right?
Absolutely.
Most of the day before he comes to the park. You know, he knows who's pitching. He knows how he pitched him. Thinking about the game 24/7 as
Dominic Brown can't get that one. It's off the top of the wall. Fortunately, Chase is out there to cut it off, and it holds the runner at third. So the Cardinals have runners on second and third with nobody out. And Schmidt, that's not the play you wanted to show, but it was exactly what you were talking about.
I just touched Sarge. I said, yeah, do you believe that? Chase prevented a run from scoring right there just by running out into right field. You wouldn't see that very.
Yeah, on both sides as he goes out. He's taking a look at this ball all the way. He sees where it's hit, so he's automatically look at that right there. I mean, usually the outfielder is supposed to be able to come over there. I can bet Maddox would have been out there, but Utley anticipates that, just like you were talking there, Michael Jack, about it happening. And not only that, how about that double play? That's a lost start, getting Howard a RBI on that double play when he broke that up. This is what you're supposed to do, but you don't see a lot of guys doing it these days.
Well, that play really stands out. I'm just talking about the timing of it happening while we were talking about it. But you will not see many second basemen all the way out in the right field position to prevent a run from scoring right there.
Matt Holliday takes a strike on the inside corner, and it's no balls and one strike. Well, Sarge was talking about that double play before where he went, and I think that's what you were talking about, playing it hard and knowing what to do. All right, if there's a ground ball, I'm going in hard at second because I'm not going to give them a chance to double up Ryan Howard, which is what he did before.
Well, if you back that play up a little bit, I would say Chase is probably taking his lead off of first with the intention of giving himself a chance to break up the double play. In other words, he probably has a step or two going towards second that most guys wouldn't. You know what I mean? I mean, because he's anticipating breaking up the double play.
Yeah.
I tell guys all the time, when you watch him take his secondary lead off third, it's the best in the game.
And you know, had a reputation, I'm sure at some point you guys have talked about this, of breaking up the double play better than anybody. Is the guy to my right here.
Well, he used to love it. Yeah, he used to love it. That ball's hit foul. Although I love the story with Ozzie Smith when he tried to blow up Ozzie Smith at second base, and Ozzie just jumped over top of him and threw it to first and said, "Hey man, you all right?"
I did that one time myself. He's impossible.
I don't know one player that have gotten Ozzie Smith.
Not me.
On a double play and knocking him down.
I used to get there. I used to get there and go right at his knees, and I know I'm taking him on. He goes, "Oh." And where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Yeah, he turned around and asked you, "Are you okay?"
Yeah. 1-2 the count to Matt Holliday. Runners on second and third. Fly ball to right field. That's pretty well hit. Dominic Brown going back to the wall. Tries again, and that one is gone. Into the first row. It's a 3-run opposite field home run. And the Cardinals have taken the lead. And that's the 8th home run allowed by Lee here at home in the last 3 ball games.
I got to tell you, Michael Jack, I don't know what you think, but in looking at the way that Cliff pitches, he almost throws too many strikes, too many hittable strikes. He'll get 2 strikes on you and almost try and throw the ball by you. Take a look and see where this ball is. That ball a little bit inside there, but it got too much of the barrel. You can see Brown leaping to no avail. But that's just, this guy's just a good hitter, Holliday. Has been, and he's a 300 hitter, drives in 100 runs. One of the better players in today's game.
Well, 19th home run allowed here at home this year.
I don't know how to react to that. He throws too many strikes. I mean, this year he's probably throwing too many balls in the middle of the plate.
Well, basically is what I'm saying is that he'll get 2 strikes on you, and then there you go. Here's another strike right down the middle.
One away. Dominic Brown makes the catch.
Sometimes I think like the Phillies, they're not playing from the top of the division this year. You know, they're playing from the bottom of the division. Yeah. So sometimes things kind of don't carry the weight that they do. Game decisions, what you do you walk a guy, do you pitch around a guy, you know, do you take an extra base, do you bust somebody under the chin, you know, all things that you do when the game for some reason, because you're at the top of the division, seems to be more important. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
And when you're playing from the bottom of the division, as our club is right now, it just, for human nature is for things not to be as important.
Not as important as in terms of knocking a guy off the plate, you know, but the pride factor has to come in here, I would think, sooner or later, in making sure that you have the best year you possibly can.
There's a curveball that Rollins will take care of Freese with. Freese wasn't really running up the first base line, and there are 2 outs.
You know, I don't want to put a can of worms here, but you guys saw it. I saw it. I watched the Atlanta Braves kind of beat us up pretty good offensively, you know, for 2 weeks, and I don't think in watching every game on TV, every pitch of every game, I really don't know that I saw one Atlanta Braves hitter have to snap his neck back.
They don't do that.
Now, I mean, my point being, I think that you tend to take more when you're at the bottom of the division. Does that make sense?
Well, you know,
as opposed to being at the top of the division where every game seems to have more importance.
You lose your swagger a little bit.
Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I think I think that does happen. You know,
it doesn't snap in your brain going, man, these guys look awful comfortable at the plate. We should do something about that, because this game could mean us getting in the postseason or not, as opposed to playing from the bottom of the division where you don't necessarily have that killer instinct that you do when you're at the top.
Yeah, I had said it before. Every time I see Mr. Keeson there, Bruce Keeson there in the cafeteria or eating, it reminds me of when he hit me right in the elbow. And he's still, you know, a big, tall guy, but he had the reputation of making sure you weren't going to be diving on that outside part of the plate. Now, and in saying that, after you get hit, having a guy like a Steve Carlton on your team, well, you know that he's going to take care of some business. May not be that particular inning.
That's right. Our game was allowed to police itself back in those days. And I mean, I don't believe that the game is that much different now. I just sometimes think that, well, I always know that hitting a hitter with a little fear of the ball in his, in his brain is not as good a hitter as a hitter with no fear of the ball. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, it makes sense.
Well, you guys both being hitters, I mean, I guess you both would understand that.
I mean, I'd have done some serious damage if I had no fear of the ball. No fear of the ball hitting me.
Or not a lot of pitches are called strikes on the inside part of the plate. Guys just don't come up and in nearly, enough.
For Call to the left side. Rollins will have to hurry. Actually, he'll be able to take his time. For Call, not as quick as he used to be. Well, a 3-run home run makes this a 3-1 Cardinals lead. Schmidt, we always
Tommy, good to be with you. Gary, always
enjoy the rest of the weekend. Mike Schmidt, and as we say goodbye to Schmidt, we'll let you take a listen to some of his great home runs.
The 3-0 pitch. Swing a long drive. There it is. Number 500. The career 500th home run for Michael Jack Schmidt. And the Phillies have regained the lead at Pittsburgh. 8-6. And the Phillies dugout comes swarming out to home plate.
The official HD triple play provider of your Phillies by Chevrolet. See your local Chevy dealer. Visit ChevyDealer.com. And by McDonald's. Now at McDonald's, any size soft drink or sweet tea is just $1. Bottom of the 6th inning. Phillies playing from behind. They're down 3-1. Still some time, obviously. Jake Westbrook has thrown just 62 pitches, though, through the first 5. And Dominic Brown spins one off the end of the bat towards Freese at third. One away. Well, he certainly has gotten his ground balls tonight.
Yeah, he's got that sinker going, and again, most of the hitters they're in a habit of staying exactly where they are in that batter's box, and it will make it easier if they can move up. Doesn't guarantee you're going to get hits, but it sure will make it easier unless you're one of those hitters that can get the ball up standing back in the batter's box.
Utley singled his first time up, struck out in the third. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Phillies have are tied for the most home runs in Major League Baseball since the middle of July. Utley hit a 2-run shot last night. Hits that one hard towards second. Diving stop by Jackson. That was a good play. He's been tested tonight on all different kind of ground balls.
This kid supposed to be really an excellent fielder. He's supposed to be the best fielder in their organization. His hitting is supposed to come a little bit later. Take a look at it, and he shows you some glove. You got to have soft hands. You got to make that play. Now, and he's a shortstop by trade, so going over to second base a little bit different than being over there at shortstop. Nevertheless, though, if you're an infielder, you should be able to catch the ground ball.
Played 13 games at second base in the minor leagues this year. As Howard takes low, it's 1-0. Did not make an error in those 13 games. He made 12 errors over at shortstop. Ryan has the only RBI tonight for the Phils. It's 2-0. Lance Nix will follow Howard here in the bottom of the 6th. Phillies have had just 2 hits tonight. Make it 3. So 2 outs, runner at first. A reminder: the Washington Nationals will pay another visit to Citizens Bank Park on Friday, August 24th for a 3-game series. Sunday the 26th, the ShopRite Jimmy Rollins back to school cooler bag for fans 14 and under. August brings plenty of opportunities. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. Nationals trail the Diamondbacks 2-1. First team to 70 wins.
Just want to say that Howard smoked that ball. And Mike says he's safe and secure at third
base. Schmidt is still up here in the booth with us. And
see, that's a good statement.
I told somebody today, because the New York Life promos are complete for the year, and I said, no, they're not.
Oh, no,
I said, people say them every day.
Oh, boy. Oh, gosh.
It's ingrained in everybody's head. The music's just not there anymore. Remember the old music that used to be played behind it?
Yeah.
0-2 the count to Nix, who's 0 for 2.
It is good, though, to see him hitting the ball the way that he can. And he's lost a lot of time, though, in spring training. So, we just want to see him when you hit the ball hard, eventually that ball is going to get out of here.
Well, there you go. That one's hit on one hop, and Jackson is tested again. And he makes the play to the glove side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left for the Phils. We've played 6. We go to the 7th. It's the Cardinals 3 and the Phillies 1. Weekend here at the ballpark. Today it began with the Steven Starr Gary Maddox Barbecue Challenge with some shrimp as well. There's some of the chicken, and folks got a chance to have their ribs and their chicken tasted by Sarge. It was a happy day. And then before the ball game, some of the alums were introduced: Kevin Stocker and Bob Boone. There's Schmidt. And Tim McCarver, who threw out the first pitch, getting his photo taken with Steve Carlton, his grandson Bo, and Brent Musburger. Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frostbrewed Coors Light. As we go to the top of the 7th, Ryan Jackson leads it off for the Cardinals. Cliff Lee has given up a 3-run home run, and that's pretty much it tonight. He's scattered 7 hits over 6 innings.
Well, that's been the problem, unfortunately, for him in this ballpark. And the other thing is pitching out of the stretch. What is he? 333 out of the stretch hitters are against him. Out of the windup with nobody on base, 224. What a difference. And he got in the stretch in that inning, got in trouble. Here's the game summary. The Phillies with that run in the first without a hit. And then Holiday's bullet to right field, and his home run. And that ball was scalded. It's just amazing, though, that his numbers would be that different out of the stretch and out of the windup.
Hard to say what the reason is.
Yeah.
Out in shallow center field, Rollins was looking at Sherholtz, and here he comes.
And you think how close Cliff came to hitting that little comebacker that Jay hit back at him. If he catches that, then he pitches out of the windup, and who knows?
That's the play that's probably eaten at him more and more. I mean, the home run, of course, but that's what led to the home run.
Right.
1 out for Jake Westbrook. Westbrook is 0 for 2. At one point, Lee had retired 12 consecutive hitters before the base hit by Jay to start the 6th inning.
And there you go. It just goes right back to the same thing again. He kept pitching without runners on base, and he kept retiring them. Then he got somebody on base, and he got into trouble.
95th pitch of the night. The other problem, of course, has been the lack of offense tonight for the Phillies against Jake Westbrook.
Who's pitched his game. Ground ball after ground ball.
He's pitched 6 innings for the 12th straight game for St. Louis. 1-1 the count to Westbrook. 1-2 the count.
Westbrook's uniform is soaked tonight. Perspiring a lot. Those gray uniforms really show that. Plus it was raining, but I think it's more perspiration than anything.
Lee picks up another strikeout. 2 outs here in the 7th. 6 strikeouts for Cliff. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Doug Eddings trying to speed up Cliff Lee, and Cliff's like, all right, well, I'm not ready. You don't always see an umpire doing that, whether it be to a hitter. A lot of times it takes forever to get in the box, or a pitcher who just kind of collected himself out on the mound.
No, you don't.
Jammed him again. Rollins backhands. The throw sails, and Howard stays on the bag. He had to stretch as far as he could to make that play. His cap spun a little bit. 1, 2, 3. Go the Cards. Time to stretch here at Philly. One more time. Name the player the Phillies selected with the 11th overall pick in the 1968 Major League Baseball drafts.
You know, there's something that has to be tying into tonight about that.
Well, it's alumni weekend.
That's what I mean.
He was here.
Yeah, right.
Where were you at the year in 1968?
I was getting out of the Army and then went to Chicago.
And there is your hint.
Who's here tonight, huh?
And there is your hint. You have provided us with your hint. Nate Scherholtz takes down and away. It's 2-0. It'll be Scherholtz, Franzen, and Kratz.
Doug Clemens.
Doug Clemens is incorrect. Why would you say Doug Clemens?
Because he went to Chicago.
Oh, okay, good. You're in the right state.
Pennsylvania, huh?
No, we're going back to 68. You're in the right state.
Oh, in Illinois.
Yeah. 2-2 the count.
Oh, it's Bull.
It is Bull. Greg Luzinski.
I forget he goes back that far. Bull to me is still a kid.
Bull's Barbecue is out there, and that general area, so you can see the menu. Log back out to Phillies.com and find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans.
11th round, huh? Yeah, Greg grew up in suburban Chicago. Was a heck of a high school football player, too. Great athlete.
2-2 to Scherholtz. Yeah, Greg was the 11th pick overall that year.
That's a heck of a pick.
Mojica Zapchinski. Zapchinski's the left-hander.
Well, their bullpen's been a little bit vulnerable this year. It's one of their problems.
Over to the right side, easy hop for Alan Craig.
77 pitches. This guy is just a ground ball machine.
Well, he's one out here in the 7th. And here comes Kevin Franzen. Bullpen may be one of the problems for them this year, but they may not get to it. The way it's going now.
Look how many pitches he's throwing. Makes it look easy. You know, everybody knows the approach you need to have. There's Mike Matheny, the rookie manager, to a guy like Westbrook, but it's a lot easier said than done. You try and hit the ball back up the middle. Little things like that. It's hard to do.
The ground ball. Craig will make this play and flip to Westbrook cover. And there are 2 outs for Eric Kratz.
Be interested to see what his percentage of sinkers are tonight.
B.J. Rosenberg throwing in the Phillies bullpen. That's going to be if Cliff Lee gets up, I would think, in this inning. Diners, drive-ins, and dives, Wheels. That's the look for Guy Fieri. Last night he was in a place where they served biscuits. They were known for their biscuits. Outside 2-0.
Nothing like bulldog gravy with those biscuits.
And there was a lot of that going on.
That's what Ray Tipton taught us.
Bulldog gravy. It was also the same place was making some kind of fried chicken, which I was thinking about Sarge, because Sarge loves chicken. And as we came to find out today, ribs.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't? Chicken and ribs, that's good. I shouldn't say who doesn't. Plenty of people don't. But that's a great combination.
And he likes ribs. I don't know if he was prouder of his rib tasting or his fingernails today.
Yeah, you'd think he was biting his fingernails, and he's not a fingernail biter.
Kratz is 0 for 2, 0 for 5 in the series. The count is in his favor, 3-1. And he fouls it. And it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. So at a Major League Scoreboard, the Padres are shutting out the Pirates 5-0. That's part of the story. Jason Marquis has a no-hitter through 6.
Well, the Pirates are in a little bit of a skid right now.
Padres have never had a no-hitter.
That's right.
On the hands and for call. That might have salvaged Cliff Lee's night. He may go back out there and pitch the top of the 8th inning. The Phillies go down quietly. 3 more ground outs for Jake Westbrook. Go to the top of the 8th. It's 3-1 Cardinals on top.
There's a lot of great things going on here at Citizens Bank Park in the month of September. A lot of baseball, but also some music for Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. 2 different shows here at the ballpark, Sunday, September 2nd, Monday, September 3rd. There are seats available for both shows. Go to ComcastTix.com or call 800-298-4200. The Springsteen display going on at the Constitution Center as well here in Philadelphia. We go to the top of the 8th. It's 3-1 Cardinals on top on a home run by Matt Holliday. Allen Craig, Holliday, and Beltran to face Lee here in the 8th. This will be Lee's last inning. He is due to lead off the bottom of the 8th.
Tough inning to pitch.
Craig has 2 doubles tonight. He doubled in the 6th inning.
You're trailing in the game. You know you're coming out, and you also know you have to leave it. You hope you can leave it right where it is for your team to make a comeback.
Really, 1 strike the count.
Really can be a tough inning to concentrate for a pitcher.
Allen Craig has 59 RBIs in 71 games this year. He has 41 extra base hits during those games.
Guy's really strong, as he showed with that bullet he hit to right center.
Two and 2 the count as he fouls that one down the right field line out of play. Well, the finale of this 3-game series tomorrow afternoon at 1:35. Lance Lynn for the Cardinals, Vance Worley for the Phillies. Early part of this ball game when Carlos Beltran was rung up on that inside pitch, we thought might be an indication of the strike zone a little bit. It really hasn't been. You know, some of the inside pitches have been called, not all of them though. I think there have been some that Cliff has wanted. Broke his bat. He's going to get a bloop single on it. So Craig's aboard. 3rd hit of the night for him.
And they'll probably get the bullpen up.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank, where for homes. Talk to us today about how we can help guide you to the loan that's right for you. By Mazda, we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. And by WB Mason, you can't go wrong when you buy right.
And want to get him through this inning, but if he starts to struggle, there's B.J. Rosenberg up. They're going to get somebody into the game because he's at 105 pitches right now.
Splits are good. 77 strikes, 28 balls. Holliday hit a 3-run home run his last time up, and that's the difference in this game. Cliff has allowed 8 hits, and 2 and 3 have 5 of those 8 hits.
Talk about a guy who's strong. Matt Holliday is right there with anybody. Timing hitter, big leg kick. Catch him once in a while when he doesn't have the leg kick timing down. You can get him out. When he has it, he can really hit.
0-1 the count.
Here he is in the 6th inning. Looked like he missed his spot there. That pitch was supposed to be more in than it was. It was out over the plate. Line drive home run in the 1st row.
0-2 the count to Holliday. See if Lee can put him away. Off the end of the bat, another flare hit. Craig around second. He's thinking about 3rd. The throw by Scherholtz is not going to be in time. It hits the runner. Lee backs it up, and Holliday didn't see it, so he'll still hold up at 1st.
Boy, that was good base running by a big guy, too. So we talk about base running. He has one stolen base. Doesn't mean a thing. You want to run the bases and you pay attention and you know how to do it. You can make things happen on the bases. There's a 3-hit game for Matt Holliday, and that's exactly what Craig did. Watch him read this off the bat. Right there, he reads it. He knows where the outfielders are. He's not fast. He can get to third base because of the fact that he knows how to play. Love watching guys like that.
He saw that Sherholtz was really deep, and the ball was hit softly.
It's right in front of him. Yeah, but how many times you see a guy hesitate like he thinks it's going to be caught and has no chance in the world to be caught?
Pratt's out to the mound to talk to Cliff Lee. This may be a stall tactic, although Rosenberg's been throwing for a while.
Yeah, they're probably pretty close to coming to getting him right now. Those balls are not hit hard, but you know, the only thing is they may want Beltran to hit right-handed, and so this would be his last hitter.
108 pitches for Lee.
Beltran is a better left-handed hitter. Not that he can't hit right-handed; he can do anything, but left-handed, really tough.
Phillies play the infield halfway.
Yep, they're not going to give up a run on a double play here.
Up and in, 1-0.
And as a base runner, you're told now when the ball is hit on the ground, you break, because you're trying to do everything as a base runner to make them not be able to get a double play and finish up no worse than a second and third and 1 out. So a lot of times you see the base runner go.
Line drive, base hit to left field. That'll be the 4th run of the night for the Cardinals. An RBI single for Carlos Beltran. And that's going to be it for Cliff Lee.
More numbers that are going to show up as you got into the stretch.
Well, that's 10 hits now for the Cards. Lee's night is done. B.J. Rosenberg has been fired, and he's going to commit to the ball game. And the Cardinals still have something cooking. They have runners on first and second with nobody out here in the top of the 8th. So Cliff Lee's night is complete. This is an AT&T call to the bullpen here at Citizens Bank Park. Collecting new and used baseball and softball equipment at the gates to benefit Pitch In for Baseball, an organization that spreads the game of baseball to needy children both in Philadelphia and throughout the world. Check out Pitch In for Baseball online anytime just to find out some of the great stuff that they do to help the needy get a chance to play this great game. Cliff Lee has not had a great night. He's allowed 10 hits and 4 runs so far. The 2 runners on base are his responsibility. And the Phillies will turn things over to B.J. Rosenberg to face David Freese with nobody out. Rosenberg's numbers so far: 5 games, 0-1, an ERA of 9.53. Runners not being held on. Freeze tonight is 0 for 3. That could be 2. Rollins makes a nice play. The flip to Utley for 1, and there's 2. You want to talk about a much needed double play? There it is. 6-4-3. 2 outs.
Oh, and that baby was hit hard, too.
It sure was.
And the grass is wet. Everything about it. That ball almost ate Jimmy Rollins alive. But he catches it. See where he's cheating a little bit for double play depth, but he has no time to react. Just go to his left. The ball's in his glove. And then you have a slow runner who hit the ball hard. You have a heck of a chance for a double play. Chase turns it nicely.
Well, if they can get out of here with just allowing 1 run, it would be huge going into the last 2 at-bats.
Another first ball swinger. Boy, they have a lot of them on this team. And they want to hit fastballs. That's why Halladay was so good last night. He didn't get many fastballs to hit.
Molina's 2 for 3 tonight. His average up to 315. Foul tip, and it's 0-2. Raul Valdez throwing in the bullpen. 0-2 the count. Outside. 97 on that pitch from Rosenberg. May have slipped as he threw that ball. By a pitch in the hands.
Got hit last night on the elbow.
Molina goes all the way up the third base line. Excuse me.
Get hit with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball like that.
Mike Matheny and the Cardinals athletic trainer both go out to take a look at him. Hit right on the base of that hand.
And they're not trying to hit him, but somebody's going to get hit. On the Phillies, you keep hitting one of their best players like that. You don't mean to do it necessarily, but somebody gets hit after that. Or at least many times they do. And this guy is one of the most valuable players in the league, let alone on their team. 95 sailing up and in. He has no chance to get out of the way of this thing. Oh boy, if he doesn't have damage to his hand, he's a lucky man.
We mentioned that it hit the base of that hand. It really did. Greg Houck, the Cardinals athletic trainer, is taking a look at it right now.
He is tough. Man. Catchers are different.
He'll stay in the ball game as he goes up the first base line. That'll bring Rafael Furcal to the plate. He's 0 for 3. Outside, 1-0. That's inside, 3-0. That was an awfully close pitch. Not to Furcal, but to being a strike. Got him, give him the green light, 3-0. By 3.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Figure you got a rookie on deck. Figure he struggled with his command. If he's going to throw a strike, it's going to be right there.
Sure. There are times you don't swing 3-0, and that's not one of them. That's fine. He's just beating him with fastballs right now. There's no sense in throwing anything else to Furcal. He may hit one, but he hasn't shown that he's going to catch up to one yet.
Cliff Lee watching. He's been charged with 4 runs so far. Runner at third is his responsibility. Molina will go on the pitch. Outside, ball 4. And Jackson will come up. So Rosenberg gets the double play ball, then he hits a batter and walks one. So the bases are loaded. Jackson will be called back.
Yeah, they're going to go for it now.
They're going to bring Descalso up to pinch hit.
The Phillies do have Valdez ready for a left-handed pinch hitter, knowing they have 3 of them available off the bench.
Descalso's walking up, and Charlie Manuel is checking to see if he was introduced as a pinch hitter, and he's going to go get Valdez. Here he comes. So Descalso won't face the right-hander B.J. Rosenberg. Looks like he's going to face the lefty in Raul Valdez. So another pitching change coming up here in the 8th inning for the Phillies. They trail it by 3 and try to keep it at a 3-run deficit. We'll return in just a little bit to give you an update on Raul Valdez here in Philadelphia. For all the action with the Union pregame live before the Union try to douse the fire. Sunday night at 6:30 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Rich Doobie talking to B.J. Rosenberg after his work tonight. A double play, a hit batter, and a walk. A lot of teaching going on with a lot of these young pitchers as 2012 has unfolded. Raul Valdez into his 19th ball game, 2-2, a 3.33 earned run average. And he'll face Descalso, a left-handed hitter with the bases loaded. Again, the runner at third is Lee's responsibility. The other 2 base runners are the responsibility of B.J. Rosenberg. We have inherited runners everywhere, Wheels.
Yeah. Well, keep it right where it is if you can get him out here. He's done a very good job out of the pen this year with Valdez.
Descalso's done a good job as you see those splits against left-handed pitching. And he pops it up. Raul Valdez should get out of this one. Jimmy Rollins is over, and the inning is over as well. They do get a run. Could have been a whole lot worse. We go to the bottom of the 8th. The Cardinals leave the bases loaded. The Phils trail it by 3.
Here at Citizens Bank Park during the month of August, check out Phillies.com. That'll give you a quick rundown of all the events, the promotions, the games, the matchups, everything. The Reds, the Nationals, the New York Mets, 1990s Retro Night. There's a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night as well. And the final game of this series against the Cardinals tomorrow. You got to check out Phillies.com for all the information. Juan Pierre's going to pitch hit for the Phillies as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Phillies trail it by 3. Remember, we talked about the stretch of games the Phillies have had here at the ballpark where they're 8-3 in their last 11. Well, 6 of those wins have come in their final at bat. So here we go. Phillies have 2 more at bats, but this could be their last one if they retake the lead.
Sure, make this your final at bat and then close it out. Make them go to their bullpen, get Westbrook out of this game and all these stud ground balls.
Yeah, Charlie said last night that when Kyle Loesch was lifted from the game, he was happy because he thought, you know, that Loesch and Halladay provided such a pitching matchup that the Phillies are having a lot of trouble, obviously, against Loesch getting some runs.
And it sends Juan Pierre up here, lead off the inning, try to get on base, get something started. You know he's going to take a pitch, and he did.
0-2 the count. Westbrook has 15 ground ball outs tonight.
Oh, yeah. Coming into the game, there's no surprise. Gave all the numbers on him.
Another ground ball. That'll be the 16th ground out.
Started with the first batter of the game with Jake Westbrook, who leads all National Leaguers with a ground ball fly ball ratio. 72.4% of his outs have been by ground balls, so none of this should be a surprise. Remember, we talked about, well, he may give up a base runner, but then he'll come back and get his double plays. He'll do a strikeout once in a while too, but he really wants you to make contact early, make early outs, keep his infielders in the game. The outfielders basically take naps in these games.
You're thinking about it. John Jay has had a couple of fly balls, but that's it.
Yeah,
like Jay has 4.
Yeah, they don't get a whole lot of work. And Westbrook would be a really easy guy for a manager to see when he's tiring, because all of a sudden the ball comes up a little bit and they start to get it in the air. And you go, oh, time to go get him.
Oh, that's why they've had guys warming up the last couple of innings.
Sometimes managers can't quite figure out when to go get a guy, when he's getting tired, when he isn't. Sinker ballers, you know.
Sapchinski continues to throw.
Ooh.
Man, that has not been a strike for a lot of the night. Rollins goes down looking, 2 outs.
That's high.
That is not a strike.
And outside. It's probably both. Certainly one. Yeah, that's bad.
2 outs. Dominic Brown is up. Brown scored the only run for the Phils. And he fouls it at the plate, 0-1. Well, at this rate, you wonder what they'll do. Westbrook is due to lead off. I would guess they're going to pinch hit for him.
Unless they want to get Mott. Yeah, pinch hit and get Mott a save. Opportunity.
Dominic Brown lines one to left field. So he's aboard with an opposite field single. Just the second hit for the Phils since the second inning.
That could be it right there. Yep, with Utley coming up, he's got his left-hander ready. He's going to say, thank you, Jake. 93 pitches, great job.
So Matheny coming out will bring in the left-hander to face Chase Utley. A little more seasoned left-hander tonight compared to last night. Just set to Yadier Molina. Ball was just up a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Pitching change, lefty coming in. Phillies down by 3 with Utley due to bat.
ball game between the Phils and the Cardinals, plus the latest on the Eagles and all the injuries that they sustained. And the Union prepare for Sunday's match with the Chicago Fire. Get all the news Philly fans need to know on Sportsnight, presented by Toyota. Tonight after Phillies postgame live, only on Comcast Sportsnet. Jake Westbrook's night is done, 7 2/3. 4 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. He'll leave with a man on first.
Well, Zepchinski's in here for 2 batters. And then Nixon is, of course, after Howard, but they'll hit for him with Mayberry, Wigginton, somebody like that. So they're going to have the bullpen ready with Mitchell Boggs, a hard-throwing right-hander, for that spot.
See Zepchinski's numbers 1-3 with a 4.58 earned run average. They acquired him from the Blue Jays last year.
Yeah, we saw him in 2 different unis last year. Phillies in interleague play saw Zepchinski up in Montreal, and then they acquired him. They turned their bullpen around at that point, and it really made their season, as it turned out.
Yeah, they went out and got Rafael Furcal at shortstop, but they also were able to go out and get some big pieces for their pen. Octavio Dotel was part of that too.
Right, this guy in Dotel really helped them. And they settled on Mott for the most part later in the year, and then he took off in postseason.
Yeah, they still weren't great in September, but in the postseason they were really good.
Chase is 0 for 2 off Zepchinski.
Pops him up left side, threes, puts it away, and the 8th inning comes to a close. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left for the Phillies. The line is complete on Jake Westbrook. We go to the 9th inning here in Philadelphia. The Cardinals up 4-1. Again here at Citizens Bank Park. Showers been on and off throughout the course of the evening. Phillies down 4-1. Michael Schwimmer will take over. Schwimmer's on for Raul Valdez, who got the last out in the 8th inning. Schwimmer's numbers have been better. 2-1 with a 3.52 earned run average, 30 strikeouts in 30 2/3 innings of work. Wheels, his responsibility is to keep it at a 3-run deficit.
Right.
Matt Carpenter will lead it off. He'll pinch hit for Zepchinski. Mott's throwing in the bullpen.
And you figure they'd get Jason Mott up and give him a chance at the ultimate save, the 3-run save, if they don't score any more runs here.
First pitch to Carpenter outside. It's 1-0. Meanwhile, for the Phillies, it'll be Howard, Nixon, Scherholtz. Those guys are due up at the bottom of the 9th inning. That's a good pitch right there. It's 1-1. That was a changeup for Michael Schwimmer, which has been better. Whatever it was that Schwimmer and Rich Doobie went over in Baltimore during interleague play has certainly turned him around. He's getting some valuable experience this year. And there are a lot of pitches that he's throwing. The slider, for instance, that he just threw, the changeup earlier in the count, and his fastball. They've been way better than we've seen the last year or so.
Yeah, that one had some bite on his slider for last year and earlier this year. Was kind of rolled up there. Now he has a little more bite on it. That's one of the things they worked on.
4 times tonight the Phillies have retired the Cardinals in order. Every time they do that, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long. There's Mott.
Former catcher who can throw really hard. Also came up with a pretty good cutter last year, and that changed everything for him, as opposed to a guy that just reared back and fired. He had that cutter, and he became very effective.
That ball hit him. A slider that got away. So a base runner now, and Craig's coming up. Got to keep an eye on John Jay. He's stolen 13 bases. In fact, his 13 steals lead the Cardinals. That has been the difference tonight. The first 3 hitters, 7 for 12. I mean, Jay has one of those 7 hits. Craig and Halladay have been the thrust of the offense for the Cards. 2-0 the count. Cliff Lee still has not won a game here at Citizens Bank Park. He won't win one tonight. He's hoping the offense can take him off the hook like they did the last time he was out here. He hasn't won a game here in almost a year.
Yeah, and you think back to playoff game number 2 last year too, which doesn't count in that total, but was so big in that series.
A reminder tomorrow, Van Swarley will take the ball for the Phils, trying to get to 500. Lance Lynn, 13-5 for the Cardinals. He has been a surprise for them.
Bullpen guy for the most part last year. Big, strong, hard-throwing right-hander.
2-1 the count to Craig. And now it's 2-2. He got him. First base is occupied, so Craig can't run, but Jay can. And a strikeout and wild pitch puts 2 outs on the board and puts a runner at second base. 2 away for Matt Halladay. Halladay, his 3-run home run back in the 6th, erased a 1-0 lead for the Phillies. And it gave the Cardinals the lead, which they're enjoying now. It's at 4-1. We'll put up our Doug Eddings. You know, the showers have not caused a stoppage of play, but he's not allowing any delay. He's trying to speed this whole thing up.
Yeah, just a little light rain been falling for last inning. They weren't holding Jay on at all, and he started to break, and Oddly just giving him a little, here I am. 2 outs, not that big a deal, but looks like they're going to let Utley come in behind him a little bit and say, well, we're not just going to give it to you. First pitch, he could have been gone and made it easily.
Good slider, 2-1. Holiday swings and misses.
He got him to pull off there.
Three and one the count. Beltran on deck. Three and two.
Come on back.
That looked like a good pitch.
3-1 breaking ball.
Right at the front knee. Swing and a miss. He got him with 94. Oh, Schwimmer must have done something that Holiday wasn't happy with as he walked off the mound, because Holiday just stared back at a back-to-back strikeouts for Michael Schwimmer. He struck out 3 in the inning. He leaves one in scoring position. So the Phillies get one more opportunity offensively. They trail it by 3 as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Shane Robinson will take over in left field for St. Louis. Michael Schwimmer was able to get Matt Holliday to wrap up the top of the 9th inning. Holliday didn't seem to be too happy about something that Schwimmer did. I think Schwimmer just did a little fist pump as he was walking off the mound. Didn't look like it was anything that big. Jason Mott will take over here at the bottom of the 9th. He's the closer for the Cardinals. He has been reachable this year. He has 4 blown saves. He's 4 and 3 with a 2.63 earned run average. 25 saves and 29 opportunities. W.B. Mason delivery of the ball game. Well, it was in the 6th inning. Matt Holliday with 2 runners on. Bam.
That pitch was out over the plate, and that's the way he went with it. Holliday has tremendous power to all field and lined one out. 1-0 Phillies at that point. 3-1 Cardinals. They have not trailed since.
So now we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Ryan Howard will lead it off. Howard is 1 for 3 today with an RBI. And he takes a strike. It's 0-1. First pitch that Mott just threw was at 96 miles an hour. As Wheel said, he's a converted catcher. Caught in college. We're talking about a conversion that happened pretty late in his career. Oh, 2 the count.
Well, watching him last year, as the season went on, and especially into postseason, he started to throw a lot more cutters, and that really helped him. He at least he had another pitch as opposed to that real good fastball, but you can't throw it hard enough for players at this level, so you had to come up with something else, and the cutter really changed everything for him.
Well, he was drafted out of Iona College as a catcher. He spent the first 3 seasons with St. Louis as a catcher. Up high. 1 year, though, he led the league in pass balls. He had 13. That's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a lot.
And then he began the conversion to pitching in 2006.
Unless you're catching 4 or 5 knuckleballers.
06 he began the conversion, but he did catch 10 games. Inside, 2-2. Maybe he was always a pitcher at heart, but you know, when you're growing up as a catcher, particularly when you're in high school, it's very rare that you pitch. Because if you're catching, and you're back there for a reason.
You want to go into what they are?
Well, you're good. That ball is smoked foul. Obviously, it didn't carry over to his professional career.
I thought you were going to say because you put a big guy back there that can take up some space.
Well,
too.
that is true. Although that usually just happens the first 4 years, and then you kind of outgrow it. You wind up over at first base.
I know a lot of kids that caught when I played, and they were big guys. You just put them back there so they could block stuff.
2-2 the count to Howard. Swing and a miss. 1 away.
Great pitch in. Whether he tried to go away or not, oh no. But Howard sees that out there, and all of a sudden he thinks that's a strike. I'm going to try and foul it off. And it's really tough to foul off 96 away at the last split second.
Unless the Phillies do something offensively, this is going to go down as another game in which they've scored 3 runs or less, which is.
And they really even shouldn't have a run in this game.
Well, that's been one of the stories of the year, not being able to score more than 3 runs in a game. Cliff Lee has been part of it 10 times this year. Not 9 times, like Ed Rooney said and Ferris Bueller, but 10 times.
Strange year.
0-1 the count to Nix. 0-2.
You don't want to be diving into 1-2 soon on this guy.
.98, and he has 2 strikeouts. Phillies have not had many base runners tonight, which they'll probably go over on Phillies postgame live. A recap of this game. Ricky Vitalico will provide his insight. Watch Phillies postgame live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance, right here after the ball game. So crowd tonight. A lot of the folks have headed to the exits. It's starting to rain again. Some more are going now. With 2 outs, Shearholtz is the hitter. Oh for 3, 0 for 6 of the series. And now 0 for his last 9. His average at .248. The Phillies are down to their final out here at Citizens Bank Park. They led it 1-0 until the 6th. Inside, 2-1 to Scherholtz.
He's been throwing mostly four-seam fastballs. That one looked like it moved in on him a little bit. May have been a cutter. A 3-run lead. He's just been going after him with gas.
That'll find the seats down the right field line.
That was in too. Talking about the, yeah, 91 on the velocity, so that's a cutter. As opposed to those 95 to 98s he's throwing, which are four seamers.
Two and two the count. Fouls another one off. It remains 2-2.
Poor guy waits all night.
And it's sized up beautifully. His form was good until it popped out of his hand.
And that one was not hit real hard. And he's saying, man, you know how those things are spinning? You should have felt that.
There's not a section on the fans plays of the year for plays like that.
No.
Unfortunately.
Tough play, but he missed it.
Down the left field line. Robinson is over. He's got a play on it. And it's a 1-2-3 ninth inning. And the Cardinals have taken game 2 by a final of 4-1 as the Phils once again fail to score 3 runs in a game. As the Cardinals offense scattered 10 hits and scored enough to pick up the victory and drop the Phils to 11 games under the 500 mark. Well, Jake Westbrook was a huge reason why in tonight's ball game. Just one ground ball after another. In fact, he was 3 ground balls shy, Wheels, of his season high.
Well, 72.4% of his outs are ground ball outs. I don't know what they were tonight, but there were 16. 16 or whatever the percentage is. I can't do math that fast, but it's right on it. And change up there to Chase Utley, but for the most part, he just threw sinker after sinker. The guys beat the ball into the ground. Jake Westbrook did his thing. He seems like he always pitches 6 or more innings. One time he didn't was against the Phillies this year when he only went 3 2/3.
It's 12 straight games in which he's gone 6 innings or more. He helps the Cardinals to a 4-1 victory. We'll be back to talk a little bit more about it right after this.